Alright, this video is on beebe. Mostly. It's also got some Bollingers in it. Alright, so when I first got my disability, I started seeing a therapist named Nicole Peralta in Nebraska. This is the year that Natalie died. Actually, I started seeing her in January or February of 2017. Now, with her, there was a company called Region 1 Nebraska. They have Nebraska separated into different crisis regions, and Scottsbluff and that area is Region 1. So, Tamara, she's got a son at the time who's, he's got Asperger's. And after realizing what had happened to me in my life, having parents that really didn't give a shit and were more interested in drugs than their own children, this woman actually quit her job to make sure that her son was properly taken care of and prepared for the world, so that he could have the help that he needs right at 18 instead of being thrown through the cracks because nobody gives a fuck. Now, a lot of these people, when they went in, they had people that went in with them to actually help them out. I couldn't get people to even look at the evidence. When Tamara quit, there wasn't any reason for me to stay in Nebraska. There wasn't any reason for me to continue to go through all the bullshit in Nebraska. By that point in time, I was already paying rent at Ken and Leah's and paying rent in Chapel. I needed to just move down closer to my loved ones, who were mostly in Boulder, and try to get everything set up down there. So I have been working with them to try to get that set up. But the lady that was after Tamara, I never got to meet her or see her or even talk to her. And that was for like a month and a half. They kept fucking with me and fucking with me, fucking with the dates. So that's when I got a hold of Nicole, what's her last name? She's my other therapist in Colorado. Nicole, shit, I'll remember her name in a little bit. Anyway, she hooked me up with Jeff Ritter and Kara Heller. Now, these two people are basically, one of them is a therapist and one of them is supposed to be a case manager, basically like Tamara was. That's what Kara Heller was supposed to do. And my therapist, the one who was supposed to do Nicole Peralta's job in Nebraska, my replacement for her was Jeff Ritter. Well, Jeff Ritter wouldn't do his fucking job, apparently. He told me things that were untrue. How can you as a therapist do that and be all right with your job as a therapist? I needed help getting a lawyer to defend myself. By this point, I had already been assaulted on 7 different occasions over things that I never did to Natalie or her sister. So, after I was assaulted by the Boulder Police Department, and Jeff Ritter hadn't answered his phone for a while, he was supposed to be trying to help me get a lawyer. But after Natalie disappeared, he stopped answering his phone. And I hate that son of a bitch. I hate a lot of people because they turned a blind eye to things that could happen to any one of us. They just happened to happen to me because I'm broke. Because I didn't have anyone in my corner. Because the people who said that they would help me out blew me off and told me pretty fucking words. I keep trying to look on the bright side. Here's the bright side. If I can get some actual fucking help instead of pretty words, then I can actually fight these son of a bitches. If I can't get an honest day in court, there is no reason for me to live. My entire life from here on in is punishment. Because I was never allowed to defend myself. I was never allowed to show evidence. And those people who are supposed to do their jobs did everything they could to not have to do their fucking jobs. So when I was finally able to leave the state of Colorado, after the police finally dropped the charges, they only dropped the charges because they had a better frame-up job at Clearview. Now, when I went back to Nebraska to try to get myself safe from those predators in Colorado, including the police, Jen Beebe was my new case manager through Region 1. Well, I tried explaining to her that I needed help getting housing. She didn't care. I was trying to explain to her that I need the resources to do these things myself. She's like, we can work on it a little bit at a time, an hour a week. I'm like, no, I don't need you to do it for me. I need more than an hour worth of work a week done. I need the ability to do these things myself, and I can't do that with all of my money going to fucking Colorado. So, I was able to ration my money to try to get myself an apartment, and I got myself an apartment. And the money that was supposed to go to having myself taken care of, my disability money, I couldn't get any help getting to all of my appointments. Dan Favorite helped me out with gas money as best he could. And Mandy Hughes and her daughter, Alyssa Rainwater, helped me out with gas funds. And even then, it wasn't enough. And I tried explaining to Jen Beebe what was going on with that. She was supposed to help me get paperwork started so I could defend myself against these predators. Well, that stuff went to Aunt B's house, and Aunt B didn't answer her door for 2 goddamn weeks. By the time I got that paperwork, it was already overdue. And I had a court date I had to go to pretty much immediately. It was one appointment after another, after another, after another. I didn't have the money to get myself to a safe place where I could calm down, where I could protect myself against these predators. I let Jen Beebe know that I didn't have the money for both gas and my apartment. I needed help. So she kept on bypassing the rent thing and saying, well, you have the money for rent, so you need to pay your rent. We can't help you with gas because it's out of the state. Like, holy fuck, woman. I need help. I need actual help, not pretty fucking words, not an hour of a week of you doing for me. I need someone to show me how to do this myself. I need the resources to do this myself, and I can't do that with all of my money going to the Boulder fucking police and their fucking cronies. I needed to be able to defend myself against the people who had been threatening my life for over a year by that point. But Jen Beebe's a fucking moron. So Jen, finally, after that bullshit with Cody Selhorst, where he was going to watch me commit suicide out at Chapel Lake to protect his fellow officer, Jordan Anderson, who was a heroin addict. Well, when I was talking to Jen Beebe a week later because I'd lost my phone and I needed somebody to do their fucking job, I'd had a shitty fucking week. We were supposed to have an appointment, but I couldn't even call her. Now, the thing about that appointment is I needed to get legal proceedings started in the state of Colorado against those fucking officers. And I couldn't wait on Jen to fucking listen and do her fucking job. So I had to make a choice between paying rent or going to court. And I chose to go to court. I always chose to go to court. It was at this point that Shannon Alvarado had let me know what was going on with Kara Johnson. And Kara Johnson was playing it up like I was talking shit on Miss Shelley. Well, now I am talking shit on Miss Shelley, because instead of hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, she used a go-between so that she didn't have to do any fucking work, so that she could pretend and play victim. She already knew what she was doing. She coordinated with Kara Johnson and the police to do this. So Jen Beebe, when I finally get back from all of that fucking bullshit, I'm trying to explain to Jen Beebe that I need to get some legal proceedings started against the Chapel Police. She's not interested in that. She's interested in shoving it in my face repeatedly that I didn't make it to our appointment the week before. Why the fuck would I show up to the goddamn appointment? I can't fucking afford it! But she doesn't give a fuck. And this is after I've had some major issues with my lawyer, right after I had to deal with that bullshit with Ted Bollinger calling me a child molester and Joseph fucking Lopez's court date, and deal with an officer by the name of Peterson accusing me of getting off on that fucking shit. I didn't go there to start fucking problems. I went there to file charges against Officer Peterson and Officer Rogers for their misconduct and wrong handling of the fucking case. So Jen Beebe, she shows up and she's throwing it in my face repeatedly that I missed this fucking appointment. That doesn't make any goddamn difference, because she's not going to listen anyway. She's not going to look at any evidence anyway. She's going to say, you need to do this and you need to do that. At this point, I'm pretty fucking pissed. Jeff Ritter should have come forward. He is a fucking piece of shit. So Jen Beebe, I'm trying to let her know what's going on, and she's busy. Every time I try to explain what's going on, she's interrupting me and telling me shit like, well, you shouldn't have missed your appointment. Knock it the fuck off, bitch! And fucking listen. Find out what the fuck is going on instead of treating me like shit over your fucking assumptions, Jen Beebe. Find out what the fuck is going on. So she's telling me that her company, Region 1, can help out with rent. I'm like, lady, I already moved out. You already let me know that you couldn't help me with gas, and you weren't going to help me with rent, even though I had a choice between spending money on gas to go to these court dates or paying rent. So you were not going to help me. You do not get to continue to throw that in my fucking face, Jen Beebe. So then I tell her that I did try to kill myself a week earlier. It was a whole week earlier. I am trying to make a report about what was going on and the situations that made me fucking suicidal. Instead, she's having me checked into a mental hospital for the police, which does nothing useful for me, but it sure as shit helps out the police. I had her there because I needed her help. She did the opposite of help. She treated me like shit for asking for help. She treated me like shit for trying to show her what was going on. So then, I'm court ordered to go see Nicole Peralta, who I've already been trying to see and been prevented from seeing on multiple occasions. And I'm court ordered to talk to this fucking crazy woman who doesn't know how to do her fucking job by the name of Jen Beebe. I don't have the money to go to all of my court dates, let alone go see my fucking therapist. So Jen Beebe, she has me committed to Scottsbluff to try to get these officers what they want, which is a diagnosis of bipolar. Well, I'm still trying to make a report about the police and their misconduct. And the hospital doesn't care. They just assume that the cop must be right because they have a badge. They just assume that I must be wrong because the cops brought me in. Now I get my backpack back, right? And my backpack has my camera in it. My camera is broken. My earphones are broken and my computer is broken. And I already knew that they were going to be broken because there's this Baldilocks in the Scottsbluff Hospital who within just hours of me being there was told that he needs to stay away from me. This man assaulted me repeatedly in the less than 24 hours, that I was there. So he's telling me good luck with my broken headphones, broken camera, and broken computer. Yeah, this guy broke my things and then bragged about it. And then they did that intimidation tactic where they all surround me and it's just me and there's nobody on my side while that police is taking my report. Well, he's not going to take my report. I'm being intimidated and he knows it. He's taking part in it because instead of what they pretend all over that I can't have a one-on-one with a police officer, that I can't have a one-on-one with somebody else present to speak with that police officer with me. This officer is allowing all of these medical staff to sit around in a circle in this room while he pretends like he gives a shit. All he's doing is giving me a ticket for breaking their computers. You know what? Between drugging someone forcibly to prevent them from making a report against police and intimidating them the way that they did, yeah, there is video fucking evidence of it and it needs to be requisitioned. Fuck all of you. Jen Beebe, after that, has not been in contact with me at all. Nicole Peralta called me to say that I must come see her mandatorily. I told her I don't have the money to go see her because she didn't do her job, and neither did Jen Beebe. Neither did Jeff Ritter. Neither did Kara Heller. Fuck all of these people. They did wrong. They didn't fucking care about the shit that I was going through. At that point, they were only interested in covering their own asses. So I call Adult Protective Services on Jen Beebe and on the officers in fucking Chapel, Nebraska. The Adult Services lady comes with an officer from Chapel, Nebraska who I was trying to make a report against, and William Burr, a state patrol officer who I needed to make a report against. And this woman tells me that Jen Beebe can help me with rent. No, she can't. She's not in contact with me anymore. And she didn't help me with rent when I was trying to get her help with rent. Jen Beebe let me know that because I had the money for rent, that I had to make a choice between paying rent or going to court. I chose to go to every fucking court date. And they kept on extending it and refusing to do their fucking jobs. Fuck Jen Beebe. And fuck Tara Miller. Tara Miller is a lady from Adult Protective Services who said that she can't do anything either. It is perfectly acceptable to victimize somebody under the guise of calling them mentally ill because these programs that you believe exist to help people like me out don't actually exist. They're government fronts. It's like a bodega. Nobody actually buys the food in those places. They're there for the fucking drugs. That bodega pretends to sell food so they can get a bunch of money for selling drugs. The government does the same thing. They pretend that there are services to help you, but they're not. They waste your resources to go to them. Fuck Jen Beebe. Fuck every fucking cop in America. Every one of them, including Officer William Barr, Jessica Barr's husband, aka Jessica Martindale. She's in plenty of my stories.